But
I want to go to Google Maps because the next video I'm going to show is Uganda. So we was talking about Ghana. It's over
Uganda,
here.
I've heard a lot of different stuff about Uganda.
Yeah, Uganda, Rwanda, and the DRC. Um, I was using Ghana as the connection to basically the United States, and their reach. You know what I'm saying? The European Union or whatever you want to call it. But this is a little bit different right here. So with Uganda, Rwanda, the DRC, and this is big boy games right here. Like this is everybody in the world, all the major powers in the world got some interest in this. You get what I'm saying? That means China, uh, probably Russia, United States,
You talking about
France.
because of the mines?
Right. So
Well,
fighting is breaking out over there, and uh,
no
new
shit.
new fighting. And I think, like I
S-
say,
s- Same fight. No,
yeah,
it's the same fight. It's just
yeah,
under a different, somewhat of a different. Because I mean, really, these people they've been have their different minds. You know, and because it's not just gold. Because like they've just recently put into circulation or into a bank like $23 trillion worth of gold, actual gold. So that right there alone fucks up inflation around the world too. Because this is actual, like, this is not fiat money. This is real fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it from that angle. And then plus, like, they have mines that they've taken these contracts from these people that was there, or no, they re- they stricken the laws for being able to mine, and none of the people in the country that were currently mining, like they're looking for investors. Like they can go in there and just start mining tomorrow if they had somebody to come through with the right, that'll can come and do the, have the right paperwork, the permits, and do all that stuff with the money, which is almost insane to me. Like, why wouldn't the country sponsor it themselves instead of bringing everybody into the like? It's insanity, bro.
crazy, 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 crazy.
It's really insanity because, like, yes, you can involve other countries but it's almost like it's to stir up problems.
Let me play some of this Al Jazeera. I think they break it down pretty good at the beginning of this video.
Whew. Like, see, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go soon. I'm stressing my like I was
Blood
my
pressure.
well, I don't think I never really have blood pressure. I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I deal with it so well, like I don't really see it that way. My blood pressure never gets high, but like just the stress and like I do feel stressed to some extent, I guess you could say.
This show
And that
tires me out every
that
time. I'm telling you, man. I be
that's
sweating when I get up
but
from this
that's
chair
but that's
sometimes.
but that's one of the main things that I was told through my doctor, like my homie, like that's like I do not allow anything to really get me upset, keep my patience, all that kind of shit. So
Yeah,
yeah, um, so let's
yeah.
go with it. I'm gonna hang in here for
This
a little bit longer, but
this not that emotional right here. Check it out.
I,
Oh shit, I'm not sharing. My bad.
uh,
I thought I was sharing. My fault, y'all. Uh,
I was waiting. I was like, okay, it's coming.
I pushed the button, but it was playing on the other screen, and when I'm looking at the other screen, I can't tell what y'all see.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Mohammed Jamjoom. More than 25 years after the First Congo War, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda are once again engaged in dispute. The Central African neighbors have accused each other of firing rockets across their shared border, including a strike that killed 2 Congolese children. This seems to have been triggered by fighting between the M23 rebel group and state forces in the east. Both Congo and the United Nations have accused Rwanda of supporting the M23 movement. The UN has urged all parties to immediately cease all forms of violence.
The region doesn't need a new crisis. Let's keep the channels of dialogue open at all levels, including at the community level, and help preserve the progress achieved in the recent years thanks to the various cooperation mechanisms.
The March 23rd movement, or M23, is also known as the Congolese Revolutionary Army. It's a rebel military group based in eastern areas of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, mainly in the province of North Kivu. Its leadership is made up of members of the Tutsi ethnic group. They say their aim is to fight enemy groups founded by Hutus who fled Rwanda after the 1994 genocide. The rebels merged with the Congolese army under a peace deal signed on March 23, 2009. But in 2012, they said the deal had not been upheld and broke away, naming their group the March 23rd movement. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our guests in Accra.
Okay. So
I thought you said this shit was not gonna be stressful.
I'm sorry, bro. So it's like they finishing what they started, right? Like they gotta finish it, right? Like that's really what it is, the genocide. And then they picked the Tutsis a long time ago. I've looked at that and thought about it, and like the ethnicity difference is hard to see, but I would say the Tutsis tend to be taller. So like I don't know, maybe the height thing has a thing because with the Europeans and the taller Asians, like the tall Chinese people, like it's something, I don't know. There's some connection there too. What do y'all think?
I don't know. That's not something I've really examined too much. I just think that this is something that we talk about the tribalism and why there's so much issues that's still going on in those regions, in that region. It's like, bro, like y'all need to come up with a common idea, like, look, like this, like drop the whole Tootsie, like become one people. To somehow y'all figured, like, I understand, like sure it's got to be somewhat tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really hard to. That's a tall bill.
But I'm just saying, like they allow people to come in and create this.
That's what happened. Yeah, they already had a bit of a issue with each other, but then these people came in and decided, hey, y'all gonna be in charge, and these people are gonna be the ones working and shit like that. And it was
these
like,
are your slaves. Yeah, look, we like y'all, so y'all are gonna be the power. These people, they're gonna be your slaves, and they're all really the same kind of people because even some of them were even married to like
and they all from the same little region. They're all from the same little area. Like and most people would not be able to tell them apart. The average person would not be able to tell them apart.
Exactly. I'm sure, like to some extent, they probably like they know each other different because of social differences, or
it'll
like
be
you
the
said,
languages. You know what I'm saying, and then their cultures, like the way they do things, like.
But still, in all, the whole thing is that like Africa, like pretty much every region has its way of being rich, having its riches, and to finally, like, if they can get a certain group of people out of their business, where they can actually negotiate and like, all right, you doing the work, this work, like, you know what I'm saying, like organize something that can be fair for everybody.
Yeah,
You,
because
you won't need
if
no
you're the,
lot. You won't need no borders. Y'all can actually work in peace together, regardless of what you call yourself.
yeah, so if you're the Tutsi and they come over and they say, okay, yeah, y'all the royalty ones, and yeah, those other ones just need to submit to y'all or whatever, and you're gonna be like, bet. That's, hey, we didn't like them niggas from the other side anyway. You get what I'm saying? But then if
Yeah.
you're the Houthi, you like, wait a minute, this some fucked up shit. Who the hell made y'all God in charge? Like, who made who? How y'all gonna just make a decision like that? You know what I'm saying? No, fuck that. So and then you've got this ethnic cleansing thing that happens, because that's just like what we talked about Hitler yesterday, and it happens in Africa too within these different Africans, different ethnicities. That looks like, I say, from the outside looking in, we wouldn't be able to tell apart, but they can see it, and they're ethnically cleansing, and then they have support in it. So that's what makes it bad. Let me read the caption underneath the video. It says, more than 25 years after the first Congo War, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda are once again engaged in dispute. The Central African neighbors have accused each other of firing rockets across their shared border, including a strike that killed 2 Congolese children. This seems to have been triggered by fighting between the M23 rebel group and state forces in the east. Both Congo and the United Nations have accused Rwanda of supporting the M23 movement. So could this escalate to a full-blown war between two neighbors? So you have the other country supporting the rebel groups, basically keeping the fighting going and shit, you know, for because they feel like they can benefit from it in some kind of way. And but what I'm saying is, overall, you got these mines that's getting robbed. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying? Sidebar: the mines getting robbed. They get mined by little kids, and all of the stuff goes to private companies for fucking pennies on the dollar, and the people of the DRC don't get to benefit from it, really. Let me read some comments underneath the video. It says, as Rwandans, we really prefer to live in a peaceful community. We learned a lot from our past, and we don't have time to involve in conflicts as well. It can decrease our development. We need to build our country as well as develop it. We actually know that war destroys and doesn't contribute to the country's development. Dear lovely neighbor Congolese, besides being neighbors, we are friends, brothers and sisters. Let us end up this. Just come down. Let us negotiate and find the best solution together. EAC means a lot to us. We need peaceful EAC, peaceful Rwanda, and peaceful DRC. That's nice that was the first comment underneath the video. But that's singing Kumbaya amongst bullets, rifles going off in the background. Let me. Oh shit. Let me read some more. It says the international community is most likely behind the curtain. Resources, everyone wants it. Bing, ding, ding, ding. That's what I'm talking about. Because, like we saying about the Houthi and the Tutsi, just that simple little thing right there, where you have outside forces that big up of a. It's like if you had your cousin or whatever, you had a slight beef with your cousin for whatever reason, like, you know what I'm saying? He did something like he ate your sandwich or something, and you still mad about that shit. And then somebody else comes in the situation and bigs it up. You know what I'm saying? Escalates the situation where it was just a little thing that y'all was gonna probably argue about or whatever. But then when somebody else gets involved, now y'all stabbing and shooting each other. Somebody then gave the cousin a knife, and somebody then gave the other cousin a gun, And it also in their ear talking about, man, I heard he said this about you and this and that about you. He don't care nothing about you. That's why he ate your sandwich. He don't respect you. If I was you, I'd stab him. He deserve a stabbing. Am I
That's
losing y'all? I'm
crazy,
losing
bro.
y'all.
That's crazy. Yeah. I always wondered about this shit, like with Africa and all of that and how rich they are in resources. You would think it would make them the most powerful continent, you know,
Well,
with
they
with
are.
all of the resources, but it's like you got so many motherfuckers over there, bro, that's such sellouts. And that's the same issue that we have here in the States as blacks, as black folks in this country, in the States. It's like how can we truly all come together when you got motherfuckers that's willing to sell out for $1 million? You know what I'm saying? That's willing to sell out for to be able to ride around in a Rolls Royce, or with jewelry and bullshit on. The same shit that motherfuckers are dying for over in the DRC. When you got these dumbass motherfuckers going out here buying these Teslas, oh, I'm doing my part. No, you're not. Yeah, you may be doing your part from what they're telling you over here, but do you realize how many lives were lost just to put that fucking battery pack in that Tesla over there in the DRC? Because they're mining for cobalt that, and all of this shit for the lithium ion batteries that's in these cars. Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. Like, for Africa to be as rich as they are, it looks and it appears because of European conflict, European, interest and all of that shit, you know, that's over there. Not just the Europeans, we can't forget about China that's over there. You know, they on
Everybody.
surface they make it look like, oh, we're helping these folks. We're building their communities, but at the same time, y'all are killing them at the same time. Y'all are robbing them of resources, and people aren't benefiting from it. China, United States, Europe, all of these other fucking countries that have any power, means of power.
Yep.
Like robbing this country, and it's like they continue, but at the end of the day, you got so many folks over there because they look at the Western world. They want to be rich. They want to have rich. They want to be
And you,
rich. They don't want to have to struggle, and they sell out. They sell their own people out, bro. And that's why
man,
you have these fucking racist ass white folks that'll make the statement that why y'all mad at us? Your own people sold y'all into slavery. Like
yeah.
you
Well,
know what I
I
mean?
ain't gonna lie.
It's
You
nuts, bro.
definitely touched a fucking tender spot because that's what happens. They want the bling bling. You know what I'm saying? They want the new whip. So
Yeah,
but when you grow up in poverty and you grow up without nothing, so I think that's part of the system. You know what I'm saying? When you make these people, you create conditions that leave these people like super desperate, and therefore you already know what they're gonna do. Like you can predict their behaviors because they hungry. So a hungry person, like you could predict their behavior. They're gonna freaking eat by any means. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then when they've gone so long without and they've been deprived and they've been malnourished and neglected, then when they finally get something, then their attitude is going to be terrible and they're going to hoard it, and they're going to express it and put it in front of everybody's face and shine on people because they hurt. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So I think that's part of the system too, though. But I agree with you though, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to us stabbing each other in the back, man, for some bling bling, for some shine shine.
Yeah.
Let me read some more comments because this one is really good. It says the North Kivu region holds rare natural resources important for emerging technologies. Look into the corporations interested in these resources to find the actual trigger of the new fighting. Another one, it says Congo is not only the heart of the world, but also the heart of the world. In short, I meant we cry together. I really do believe the Congo is the heart of the world. It's definitely the heart of Africa. And you know, if you think about Pangea and how when all the continents were together, Africa is shaped like a heart, kind of. I don't know. That's what I think of.
Yeah, but I mean, the last argument you made is really the simplest and the most like it. That's the only thing that really adds up. I mean, like there's been people all across the planet forever. So, like, what's the discussion? I don't know. But however,
Yeah. Well, we have to produce content. Let me read some more. It says even the journalist is aware that what's behind the war is just minerals. Kigali will never admit to support rebels because the command come from the West, but the regime in Rwanda is putting Rwanda vulnerable for the future. So that's what they don't care. Just like Ukraine. Have y'all seen the pictures of Ukraine? And it's like they really care about Ukraine. Ukraine is getting freaking destroyed, bro. And them steady giving them weapons and guns and shit is extending the war. Do they really
um,
think Russia's gonna lose this thing? Do you think
it,
Russia had any intention of losing this?
bro, I, I don't know if all the stuff that they saying happened. I mean, some of the stuff I'm sure is happening, but they're not like some. It's been already kind of proven that at least a few things that they proved, that they showed, is not true about what's happening in Ukraine.
Yeah,
And that's
I saw those videos, but there's real pictures of the freaking buildings that have been fucked up. Because what happens is they hide out in those apartment buildings and shit, and then they, you know, and stadiums and shit like that, and they got us like raid. You got to raid them up out of there, and you destroy the building in that process. And then they move to another freaking residential building and do the same thing again. It's like Russia is fighting like a guerrilla war. That's why you can't fight this kind of war with traditional weapons because there's too many civilians, and they really care about the civilians over there. Even though the media is telling you otherwise, Russia is trying to cut soft. That's the reason why they're losing so many people. They've been losing a lot of people, and they're like, "Oh, they're losing the war." They're losing a lot of people because they're going in this really trying not to kill civilians. Those are a lot of those Ukrainians are Russian. I think it was some more. It says this is a comment underneath the thing. Another proxy war which bears no Rwanda or DRC interest. It is multinational and foreign countries fearing the admission of the DRC into East African community may lead into peace and tranquility in the DRC and control of minerals. Because the moment it's not fighting over there, the moment it's not fighting over there, then the people are going to be like, hey, we supposed to be they should be rich as hell. Anybody that lives over there, the people the you know, the aboriginal peoples, the peoples that live in these areas, they should be rich as fuck, right? Should they not? Should it be all kinds of jobs, all kinds of shit going on, people owning shit, and the materials can still get to around the world, but those people that live there should be benefit from it, right? I mean, like, who in the world feels like that's not fair? Apparently, these
Yep.
private corporations don't ain't feeling that idea. They like, how we gonna get rich
Nah,
then?
they ain't feeling shit. They ain't feeling shit. They don't
and then he's
want.
incorporating the technology.
This is emotional. Let me read two more comments. It says, now we begin to understand the issue. This deal of accepting refugees from UK is making spirits hot. Now they need to show that Rwanda is not a place for sending refugees. That's why the whole thing are turning around that point. Hmm. Hmm. That would be funny. Anyways, let me read another comment. It says, I hear some Congolese want their government to start a war on Rwanda. To fight Rwanda is a high costly. Remember, Rwanda has faced many countries, including Zimbabwe, Angola, Namibia, DRC, and others, wherein DRC and the perpetrators of genocide lived in DRC, but failed to defeat Rwanda, and at the time Rwanda was out of genocide, does not have many soldiers, and it was poor. So now to fight Rwanda, you can't. If you make that mistake, you will regret it for the rest, let me see, of your life, because Rwanda was a well-trained, courteous, and respectful army. What the DRC soldiers can do is to commit genocide against the Kinyarwanda speakers in DRC, steal military salaries, and steal civilian property and rape of women. In Rwanda, there are generals and colonels with experience in fighting the wars of liberating Mozambique, Uganda, Rwanda, fighting DRC War 1 and 2. What the Congolese are saying is a dream by day. Rwanda is now peacekeeper in CAR, South Sudan and Mozambique, and do it better. So now the power of Rwanda has multiplied many times over. We want peace. I was stunned when I saw one DRC soldier come and shoot in Rwanda to come and take over Rwanda. Would one soldier take over the country? This act showed that the DRC, they have no profession. They have sail in the command and control of the army. Then it's amazing how the DRC soldier had the cannabis to consume in his pocket. Drug addicts can't win. God bless DRC and Rwanda because they are neighbors and brothers and sisters. Yeah, man, it's just gonna be never ending because, like they're saying, it's kind of like Afghanistan. Like you can't conquer Afghanistan. When has it ever been conquered? You know what I'm saying? Just like over there with Vietnam. When has Vietnam really been conquered, y'all? Freaking Rwanda. I mean, these people been fighting forever. Like, like war is just another is a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But they benefit from it just being a mess, messing things up. The people want organized, they want peace, they want to be able to do commerce, you know what I'm saying? But it's tough to do that when there's bullets flying. Anyways, I feel like I done lost the whole audience. Well, let me. This should work. Pad up. Let's play some of this.
According to part of the Argentine population in the 18th century. In 1778, according to a census by its Spanish colonial masters, Black people made up 37% of the total population of the South American country. By 1857, 79 years later, the Black population had dropped to 15%. Today, a greater population of Argentina is white. Only 5% of Argentina is Black, the lowest of all Latin American countries. As a matter of fact, their numbers have reduced drastically that it would be near impossible to see a Black Argentine in sports, journalism, politics, and so on. So, what led to the reduction and near eradication of the Black population in Argentina?
Oh, shit.
The history of Afro-Argentines dates back to the 16th century when Black people, feet chained, were brought from their homelands in Africa to be traded as slaves in Argentina. At the time, Buenos Aires, the capital city of Argentina, had just been founded and trading was the main commercial activity. As the years went by, the numbers of slaves being traded in and out of Buenos Aires increased drastically. As of the 1600s, the slave trade industry had grown so much that about 70% of all trading in Buenos Aires involved importing slaves from Africa. It was only a matter of time before slave trading became a legalized trade in Argentina, extending far into the 1800s. Although the slave trade in Argentina ended in 1813, slavery itself lasted until 1853 before it was finally abolished. When one looks at Buenos Aires now, in its clothing of architectural and structural beauty, it is hard to imagine that it was once an ugly sight during the long years of the black slave trade and trafficking, which increased the black population in the colony. Data recorded in the 1778 census carried out in Argentina by the then Spanish colonial masters showed that about 30% of the people in Buenos Aires were black. By the time the slave trade was ended in the 19th century, black people accounted for 1/3 of the Argentine population, even though many of them were descended from slaves and some were still in slavery. Not only were the blacks a robust community, but they were also involved in and actively influenced the Argentine culture with their African ways. For instance, the popular tango musical style and dance, which was developed in Argentina, has its roots traced to the African country of Angola.
Pause.
Yeah. Just woke up.
Mad interesting to me. I was about to go to sleep and this just woke me up.